Hello, I got a quick video here for you. My objective of this video is to change this Dillon RL550. Right now we're set up to load 223 Remington, and my plan is to change it so that we can start loading 9mm. So the first thing I need to say is that we're moving from a small primer, small rifle primer, to a small pistol primer, so there's not going to be any need to change out this priming system. All I'm going to need to do is change out the shell plate, the locator buttons, and the powder measure and the dies and everything. It's a very simple process. So let me show you the first thing I like to do. First thing I like to do is I like to raise the ram, and right here, hopefully you can see it, there's a little screw in there. There's a little set screw, and what that set screw does is it holds the let me see if I can find it there. It holds the shell plate bolt in. This is a little brass tipped screw. So that's the first thing I need to do, is remove that. From here I'm going to lower the ram back down, and there's 3 brass locator buttons that I need to remove. 1, 2, and 3. So I've removed the 3 brass locator buttons. Now at this point, because I've already taken this screw out, I can remove the shell plate bolt. This is going to be a little difficult because I'm trying not to get my hands in the way, and normally I'd be over here, but I'm trying to do this as best as I can without getting in the middle of the video where you can't see. So the shell plate bolt comes out, and that's what that looks like. Take that bolt out. Now that loosens up the index star. I can take the index star out at this point and easily remove the 223 shell plate. Now one thing I want to note is there's a ball here, and underneath that ball there's a small spring. There's not any need to remove these at all. I'm just removing them to show you. But there's no need to mess with this stuff. Okay, so there's that little spring. Go ahead and leave it in there. And this is the index ball. Leave that there too. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just showing you so that you understand. From here, I need to take this little white connector off. So I like to raise the ram a little bit and try to get something underneath it to pry that little connector down. There. Now that that's off, I can take off. Let me get this angle changed a little so you can see better here. I'm going to take off this bar. Just kind of lift it out, rotate it on out. That bar comes out. From here, I have 2 pins, one here and one on this back side. I'm going to take these 2 tool head pins out, and at that point I'm able to slide the whole tool head assembly out with dies. Set that aside and get the new tool head with dies and slide it in. This is the one with all the 9mm stuff. Now I'll take the 2 pins again. They have little, these little pins, and I'll insert them down so that they'll hold the tool head in position. Now it won't move. From here, I'm going to take the new shell plate. This one happens to be the 9mm shell plate, and I'm going to just set it in there. Just like so. don't forget the index star. We're going to put the index star in, and the shell holder, or excuse me, shell plate bolt. Goes straight down. Excuse me. There we go. Now when you tighten this bolt, it does not have to be like real tight. In fact, if you make it too tight, like let me show you here for an example, it will not index that easily. So when that happens, you need to back the bolt back a little bit. And I like to hold down on the bolt to test the index to see if it's a nice smooth index. And then you can tighten or loosen the bolt as needed until you have a nice smooth index. Once you find the index that you want, put your new locator buttons in, 1, 2, 3, and raise the ram. And at this point we're going to take that brass tip screw again and we're going to put it back in. And what that'll do is that'll lock the shell plate bolt in position so it won't be able to come out. Drop my wrench, hang on just a second. Trying to do this without getting in the way of the camera so you can get a good view of this stuff. So that bolt, that little set screws in. From here I can insert my extension bar, and I'll just pinch these two together and kind of run the bar in and all the way down. And from here, when I lower the ram down, I'll get this little plastic part to seat just by pushing forward like I'm going to prime. Now, because we have the set screw in, we have the index bolt in, this won't turn anymore. I want to test my index and make sure everything's nice and smooth. And in our case it is. And from here I'm going to take this whole stand with the 223 stuff and set it aside. It carries the locator buttons and the powder measure and the shell plate. But that right there is what it takes to convert from 223 to 9mm. It doesn't take long and it's not that hard to do. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.